I think you had 3 turnovers in the first quarter, only one for the rest of the game. Like, how did you just navigate that part of the game, taking care of the ball, and facilitating this offense as it went along?
Still got to be better. You know what I mean? Like the turnovers that I got weren't like that's all on me, especially that last one. You know what I mean? I think we go up 3. We get a big stop, and we had numbers. You know what I mean? I tried to advance. It was the right play. I just got to complete the pass, and then it's a layup or a 3. So still got to be better in that sense. But overall, it's a good fight, man. It's a tough team, tough environment. You know what I mean? You just stuck with it. So big time win for us.
James, this is your second year playing with Kawhi. What impressed you the most about him tonight?
You said what impressed me?
Tonight.
Shit, that's. I don't think I feel like he didn't miss a shot. I feel like he didn't miss a shot, man. His shot making ability is elite. You know what I mean? And that's the aggressiveness that we need from him. You know what I mean? No matter what's going on, no matter who's guarding him, he just got to his spot and raised up. So, big time player. He played big time tonight.
James, what do you see from he does so much behind the scenes, trying to get ready for this time of year, trying to get his body right, and a lot of times we'll always ask about it, and then we don't really understand everything he's doing other than he's working. Do you see some of what he does behind the scenes, all the hard work he puts in, and how would you describe what he does?
Every single day. It's the preparation. It's like the treatment. It's the strengthening. You know what I mean, of his body. It's the correctives, and then it's the going on court and putting it all together. You know what I mean? And it's consistently every single day. And luck hasn't been on his side or whatever case you might call it, but he loves the hoop. You know what I mean? And as you see, when he's on the court, he's a killer. So, I'm glad he's in a good space right now.
James, just wanted to follow up. We asked you about the 5 fouls from game 1. You said you figured it out. You only had 1 today, and you still had some of the same matches. You was on errand plenty. How did you figure that out? How did you navigate that and still stay on the court for 38?
I usually don't just get 5 fouls, so I'm just not a hack. So it was just one of those games you had to navigate and figure out how to stay on the court, but still be aggressive and still be smart. So I don't know. I mean, tonight, had some shot opportunities, and Kawhi had it going. You know what I mean? And so you just at that point you just sit back and you figure out how can you impact the game or whatnot. So it was a big time game, man. Norm made some big time shots in that fourth quarter. Zoo, Katie, some offensive rebounds. It was a team effort, and in the postseason it don't really matter, as long as you come away with the win. So we got a couple days off and we're ready for the end to it.
Look, James, Nikola had a triple-double, but you guys forced him into 7 turnovers. What did you guys do well to kind of maybe neutralize him a little bit, as much as you can?
Tough cover, extremely tough cover. He's very, very skilled. His passing ability, his scoring ability. You put a big on him. I think Zoo did an unbelievable job, but you put a big on him. He steps back and shoots threes and, post up and his passing ability. So just trying to make it difficult on him, man. We swarm him. We just try to be smart because obviously if you just run at him, he's going to pick you apart. So tough cover. I think the last 2 games we did a pretty solid job, even though he had a triple-double. He's going to get his just because he's that good. But I think we did a really good job on him last 2 games. So we got to be even better for the next few games in order for us to be successful.
James, going back to Kawhi for a second, obviously he has the night that he did tonight, but you've been around him, for almost 2 years now. His career, the stop and start nature, all the things he's gone through. Do you think, and he keeps coming back, do you think he gets the appreciation from people for what he's endured and coming back from?
No, not even a little bit. It's always negative. It's always, what he's been through and what he's not able to do just because of something that he can't control. But we don't appreciate how great he is when he's actually out there and putting on performances like this tonight. I feel like that about everybody that, is in the league that goes through something that, that's out of their hands or they can't control. It's always the negative. It's always the hate that people want to talk about, which is something that we got to live with, I guess, in this world. But You know, as for me being closer to him, every single day and seeing the work that he puts in, and you appreciate him.
James, you mentioned you guys are heading back to Intuit Dome. What's the level of excitement to play the first ever playoff game in that building, especially given that you guys were able to tie the series up and bring a 1-1 series back home?
I expect it to be rocking in there. I expect it to be, very, very loud, and like it's been all year, and, us to go out there and put on a show. But, like, it's the playoffs. It's my 16th year being here, so you understand what you're up against. You understand that just because you're going back home, it's not going to be easy, or it's not guaranteed to win. And, for us, playing against this very good Denver Nuggets team, it's just even kill. We lose last game, we didn't get too low. We win tonight, we didn't get too high. It's just, the series could have easily been, 0-2. We could have been down, or it could have been 2-0. We could have been up, And we understand that. So going back home, it's, it's another opportunity for us to win. Yep.
Kawhi, James was just in here, and he was saying that you don't get the appreciation that you deserve for coming back time and time again from injuries. I know you don't particularly pay attention to what's said about you, but what does it mean to have teammates like him, teammates like everybody else in that locker room who do see the work that you put in every single day and appreciate it and are able to help you get back to have a game like you had tonight?
It was great. Like you said, anybody in the business, that's playing and knows how hard it is to either come back from injury or just even playing in the NBA. They understand, what we all go through, what I go through. And, to see that from your peers and hear that from them is great. I told several people before, just thanks for, helping me through stuff in time, with injuries.
And after game one, you mentioned that just the aggression was one of the things that stood out to you with the turnover issues that you had. Obviously, you came out really aggressive early in this game. How much of a point of emphasis was that, and how did you feel you were able to get to your spots and be aggressive?
I think I made shots tonight, shot a little bit more than I did last game, but it wasn't about that. You know what I mean? Some of my turnovers last game were just being aggressive and, trying to save the ball or getting rebounds, getting pushed out of bounds. So, the one that stuck out to me was this, obviously up one and getting it tipped off my hip, but it was just great defense by them. So I just wanted to come out and get a win.
Kawhi, when you're out there in a game like this, I think you made your first 6 shots, then you missed one, then you made 6 more. I mean, were you aware that you were hit on that kind of a roll, being that efficient out there?
I'll just keep playing, try to stay in the zone, no matter if I'm missing or making shots. I'm trying to go to the next play, and, that's it. Just focused on the next play and trying to win, get to my spot and shoot, just live with the outcome, whatever game it is, how good or bad it's going.
Kawhi, to your right, how much you've got this wealth of playoff experience. Like, you've had good games, you've had bad games. Like, how much do you reach back into what you've done to help prepare you for the things that you need to do in the current?
It's always a different situation for me. Next game isn't going to be like no other game. You know what I mean? It's what's in front of me, and that's what I'm approaching. All I know is that I've been there before. I've been here, and like I always say, as long as you're playing hard and having fun, you can live with the outcome. Just leaving it all on the floor, and that's what I take pride in.
Kawhi, how much energy does it take to play in these games? And I ask because late in that fourth quarter, after Norm hit the 3, they called a timeout, and you didn't move. It looked like you were, tired, but you still came out and hit the big shot. How much does it take for all of you guys just to put forth the effort like this?
It's difficult. Like I said, playing here, playing against this great team, they got great players, know their role. And, any NBA game is very hard to play, especially in the playoffs. It might look easy By just watching us and seeing how skilled we are. But these games are hard to play. You got to play every possession, every minute.
Kawhi, physically, how good a shape do you feel in right now? Like, do you feel the best you felt in years, the best you felt in 5 years? Like, where are you in relation to what you've been in the past?
I'm not sure. I'm just happy that I'm able to move, and I'm coming out the game feeling well, and that's what I'm taking my pride on, is just being healthy. I sat and watched these playoff games and series the past 2 years, so me able to be front line out there, it just feels good for me, no matter which way the game goes. That's what I'm taking pride in. I just want to be out there and play and be front line with my team.
Kawhi, to go off that, as you look back at kind of the journey of these last few years through injury, are there aspects of your game that you feel like you have honed to be better than what you were before, injury? And do you take pride in that you're that version of this player, even through everything?
No, like I just said, it's a different day. I'm not going to play like I was before. I could be playing better. I could be playing worse. It doesn't matter. I'm just focused on the now. It's a different team in every situation and game. So I'm just taking what's in front of me and playing hard. And like I said, having fun and just living with the results.
Kawhi, Norm had struggled through a large part of the beginning of this series, but in the fourth quarter tonight, he hits 3 shots. 2 of them give you guys the lead. What do you think that can do for a player like him? And also, along those same lines, Bogey gets a steal, gives it to Derek. Like, guys who had been struggling through the first few games, coming up big in the fourth. What can that do for not just them, but you guys?
They've been through the season. They're NBA players. It's the same game. You're just a title on it now. The NBA playoffs, that's it. Guys is playing harder. They've been through it. They had games where they missed shots early. They stuck with it. I think they'll be fine. Like he did. He came through late tonight, and if it's early or late, that's just how it is. Yeah.
His performance tonight, what did you think of all he gave you guys, especially after Norm hit the 3, they called a timeout, and he looked gassed, but he still kept going.
Yeah, this is what Kawhi lives for, trying to get to this point where he's healthy for the playoffs. And we know if we got a healthy Kawhi, we can win any series. And that just shows you tonight, what he's capable of doing. I think the week layoff kind of hurt him a little bit, I think, for game 1. I think, when he's off for a little bit, he has a slow start. But tonight, like I said, we needed every bit of it. We had some guys gut through a couple of things, a couple of knick-knack injuries, but those guys stayed and they played, they stayed with it. And I'm just, proud of our team. Just, get down big to come back and fight. Couple calls didn't go our way, but we stayed with it. We stayed poised. And for me, it was just the mentality, like I said, at halftime, what got us back in the game was the grit and the grind. It wasn't making shots. It wasn't, just get your ass back in transition, guard the basketball, be physical, and everything else is going to take care of itself. And so, like I said, Norm hit some big shots down the stretch. KD with a big offensive rebound. But like I said, just a total team effort, and that's who we got to be every night.
Speaking of Norm, he hit 3 shots in the fourth. He struggled throughout the entire series up until that point. Do you think this can be a turning point for him, where now he can kind of use it to propel himself for the rest of the series?
Yeah, I think so. He has the mentality. If he misses a shot, he's not worried about the next. He's taking it, and that's just who he is. And he puts too much work in every single day not to play well, not to shoot the ball well. And so when he wasn't shooting the ball well, he came up with two big stops, got a steal, I think. So just doing other things. If you're not going to score the basketball, if you're struggling to score, what else can you bring to the team? And that's our mentality. You got to bring something every night. And I thought Norm did that tonight, even though he didn't make shots early.
Coach, Saturday you had 20 turnovers. They had 11. Tonight that was flipped. Just what changed for you?
We still have some bad turnovers, like some unforced turnovers. Like, we got to be better. We understand they're going to play different defenses, but to me, if we just take our time and execute the way we're capable of executing, we can get any shot we want, and we feel like that. And so, not getting bored with the process. Coach Adam has done a great job making adjustments. He's doing a really good job. And so it's going to be a back and forth, like I said, chess match. And so for first time coaching in the playoffs as the head coach, he's doing a really good job. And so, we just got to keep fighting, keep competing. We know we're dealing with the best player in the world right now. Just got to keep showing different coverages and keep going.
See, you were able to get Ben in there early first half, early second half. Yeah. How'd you like that particular adjustment? What did you feel like it did, not just for Ben, but especially for your team?
It was good for us. No, it was good for us. We talked about it. I talked to Ben today, this morning, just told him what I was going to try to change up and try to force their hand, and it worked tonight. So we'll see going forward what happens.
Ty, can you talk about just what it takes for Kawhi to get back in position to have a game like tonight? I mean, we all ask you every single game when he's out, when is he coming back, how's he doing, what's he able to do, and that you can't say that much, but obviously he's doing a lot behind the scenes to be able to have a kind of game like he did tonight.
Yeah, just the hard work. Every time someone gives up on him, he comes back. And so, he's a hard worker. He's dedicated, like I said, to keeping his body right. And sometimes you just, some unfortunate things happen. You can't control that, but it's not from a lack of work. It's not from a lack of wanting to be here. And just sometimes some bad luck hits, but he's going to keep coming back, and he's going to get to this point like he is right now. And that's why I'm just so happy for him.
Ty, you talked about, Zoo pregame guarding Nikola Jokic, but obviously sent a ton of bodies at him today. 7 turnovers, looked a little bit uncomfortable at times. What does it take just to guard Nikola Jokic, and how did that go today?
It takes a lot. Like I said, I think Coach Adam is doing a great job of just putting him in different spots, different positions. And for a 7-footer like Zoo to have to navigate through pin downs and away screens, and it's tough. It's tough. You have a 7-foot guard. He can put the ball on the floor. He's one of the best passers in the world. He can shoot threes. He can shoot floaters. He can post smaller guys. It's just a tough cover. And so we just got to do whatever we can to try to keep him off balance and just give him different looks.
You had to call a timeout on that sideline when James kind of got jammed up. And I want to know just from your perspective more about that play out of the timeout. Kawhi hits that jumper, and then the defense where Kawhi winds up getting a steal. Like, what else did you tell your team, to set up that sequence?
No, we got 11 seconds on the shot clock. This is what we're running. Kawhi get a basket, and let's get a stop. And we win this game. And our team went down and did it. So just staying poised down the stretch, understanding how we want to execute, and did a good job of doing that.
Coach, nice job today. I guess Norman Powell and Jamal Murray kind of had that dust up a little. How did you think your team responded after that?
I thought we responded well. I thought we responded well. Actually kind of got Norm going. He made 3 shots, after that. But it just, like I said, Jamal just said, just competing. It wasn't anything dirty, just playing hard, competing. And when you're in the playoffs, if things like this don't happen, then I don't know if you're playing hard enough. So it's going to happen.
Ty, yesterday you said you wanted to get Kawhi into attack mode. Obviously he did that tonight. But how do you get him into that mode without other guys, I guess, just getting lost in the flow of the game?
Nobody getting lost. Norm had 14 shots. James had 17. Zoo did what he did. And, our best player, if he's going like that, we're going to continue to feed him. And so guys are getting their shots. All the guys understand their roles and when shots are going to come, and they have no problem with that. So I don't think guys got lost. I thought Kawhi willed us to a win.
Ty, Jamal kind of got going throughout the night, but it seemed like Chris never let up with his effort on him. Just kind of how impressed were you with what he was able to do on Jamal tonight constantly throughout the game?
Another tough cover. You got a guy who can score at all 3 levels, constant movement. And KD, like I said, just keeps fighting and keeps competing. Jamal makes a tough 3, tough floater. He just keeps coming back. And like I said, came up with a big steal at the end of the game, and then also came up with a big offensive rebound that we scored on as well. So, taking on KD's personality, that's who we got to be. And so he brings that toughness for us every night. Thank you, guys.